All right. Calling the City Council meeting to order. Today's date, November 19th, 2024. Under adoption of the agenda, if a councilman wish to revise the agenda, the motion to add or delete an item will be entertained before adoption of the agenda. Will there be any? Hearing none, seeing none. Entertain a motion to approve. Motion. So moved. Or second? Second. So moved and probably second. Under discussion. Under discussion. Under discussion. Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Items for discussion. Item number 1, information only. Emma Webb. Splashpad location update. Scott Alston.
Sorry, Council. We're here today. Just want to give you a brief update on the Splashpad. Lately, we recently looked at the bathhouse and the condition it was in, and I had a few people walk through it from the Recreation Commission, and we looked at a new area to put the Splashpad adjacent to the playground to make it more feasible for kids to go back and forth, and the condition of the bathrooms. So what we're proposing, if you see on the screen, this area right here by the gymnastics area, to put the splash pad, and just want to kind of get your blessing and see what your thoughts are on that. And if you see, that's one picture here. This area would be adjacent to the playground on the left, and the bathhouse is actually way up on the hill. It still needs a lot of work. The gymnastics bathroom is actually right there, so it's a dual bathroom, indoor outdoor bathroom, and that really all it needs is a ramp right there beside it. So just thought I'd just run it by the council to see what your thoughts are. I mean, and this would kind of be the location on the map, which would be right there. And it would actually come off the walkway right there, and you'd be able to right adjacent to it. Just want to see what the council's thoughts are. And there's the spray ground, what it would look like. And this is the condition of the Emma Webb bathhouse. It still needs, that floor needs a lot of work. Stairs, sealed entryway into the bathhouse right there. It's basically untouched since 2017. And then here's our playground right there. So if any input from the council, that's kind of what we're thinking right now. We've approved the spray ground just in that location, and then it's probably no more than 50, 60 feet from the playground right there. So.
All right. Thank you, Scott. Any conversation or?
Scott, I just wanted to say, I'm sorry. The location probably in a good spot, because if the kids are playing on the playground and the parents there, they can see both the playground and the splash pad at the same time. Plus, if parents are in their cars, they can still see the kids in that area. So I think it was a pretty good choice.
And if the splash pad was on the other side of the park, we would have to find a way to get the parking, to find more parking or add parking, which would quite not be in our budget. So that's just want to run that by y'all in case.
And the bathroom location would have to
be updated. Yeah.
Any further discussion from the council as it relates to the splash pads or anything at Emma Webb from the council?
Yeah, Scott, I do want us to potentially take a second before we make this change. And the reason being, one of the things we discussed back during the planning process for the park was the need for some potential flood mitigation and engineering work along the actual branch itself. Potentially, because over time, water is going to flow the direction that water wants to flow. And over the course of decades, the park has changed that stream from being a curving stream to being a straight diagonal stream there across the park. And so eventually, if geology and water continues to work the way geology and water works, water is going to start curving in the direction of where we're placing that splash pad now. Mm-hmm. That would be my concern. And I would say before we invest money in putting the splash pad there, let's take a moment to see if there's any type of actual engineering work that would be done either through that broader Akron Branch flood mitigation project we have going on or something specific to this park. And I wouldn't want us to have to eventually dig this up a few years down the line because of how close it is to the branch.
Okay, we'll get public services and we'll get them brains together and look at it just to double check before we do anything. Definitely.
Thank you, Council, Ms. Suggs. Will there be any further discussion as it relates to the stream or Memorial Park that relates to the splash pad from the council? All right, here none. Seeing none. Thank you, Scott. We'll move on to item number 2. Consider approval of a contract with LIVunLtd agreement. Lions Water Adventure Park. Scott.
Thank you, Council. I'm here today with the recently did an RFP, request for proposal for the management of Lions Water Adventure. We had 4 firms submit management proposals, which include Live or Swim Club, which is previously our management company, USA Management, Expert Aquatics, and PMI, which is Pool Management. And we've had several meetings with the managers and finance staff, and we had current changes in the contract that we came up with were an updated split of 70-30 city LIV, a contract term of 5 years, a contractor proposal preseason budget due March 10th every year, and an annual review session and evaluation meeting is what we've looked at with Live. And they've been a valued partner with us for over the years, Live or Swim Club, as we know, and we've had a great working relationship, and we wanted to see what else was out there, but we feel after several meetings that they're our best partner and our best step forward. So we recommend to move forward with them on their renewal of their lease, and it is a 5-year term, but there are some significant changes, as you see, on the split and the term. So we think that's a positive thing down the road from what it previously was. So also Zach Brown is here tonight from Swim Club or Live, just in case any questions on that one. So I'll leave it up to the council for questions.
No, Scott, I don't have any questions, but I do appreciate your efforts too on putting it out there to figure out who was the best of the best. And however, thank you, Swim Club, for the familiarity of you being able to figure out how we operate. So thank you much, and thank you for the long-term conversations relates to funding or money split down the road. So thank you. Anything from the council as it relates to the contract for Swim Club?
Yeah, I had a question regarding the proposed preseason budget. How has that typically worked in the past? Have they submitted a request to us and we? How's the process? They
usually give us a kind of a guideline budget of what they project their expenses for, and we try to hold them to that. Obviously, there's always stuff that comes up that's out of pocket that changes, a repair. So with this new contract, we're hoping to get a more accurate gauge, so we know in our planning, when we do our city budget planning, that's why it's earlier, we're able to take that in consideration. Whereas in the past, it's not exactly been close as we wanted it to. So hopefully this will take care of some of those expenditures that come out of nowhere. We're able to forecast a little better. And swim clubs, work with us great on that and trying to fine tune that over the years. And I think
they have more experience
Yeah.
to draw from when they're preparing that budget now, wouldn't you say?
Yes. So that's kind of where we're.
Mayor,
Yeah, Mr. Attorney.
I don't know if this is a Scott question or a Mr. Brown question, but I remember when we first did the agreement with Swim Club, there was we started from a form agreement, but there was a lot of customizing of that agreement. And then we just did amendments going forward, so we never really had to revisit that underlying agreement again. I have not been through this one yet, and I'm wondering, does it contain all the changes that we worked through when we started with Swim Club, or is this a new form starting all over again?
Mike can answer that.
Yeah, no, it should have all the same language that it was historically. There have been some marked changes. There's some updated language in regards to the insurance, and just to kind of make it more blanket so we don't have to revisit that year over year. There's also an additional comment about cameras, with the surveillance cameras that are in the space. Those are the two main areas that I would say that I can recall that would be different. But outside of that, fundamentally, all the other standard terms should still be the same. And the rest of the language, with the exception of what Mr. Alston's mentioned with the split. and the budgetary items, things of that nature.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And cameras, are we adding more cameras, or what are we doing with the cameras, or are they having access to the cameras?
Yeah, go ahead.
It would just be access to cameras upon request. In the event that there was ever an incident, since the cameras are owned by the city and we don't have access, it really is just stating that if there were to be an incident, we would ask to be able to get that same footage. God forbid that were to happen.
And we do have cameras. You know, all our cameras are city maintained by MIS. So yeah.
All right, any further discussion as it relates to swim club agreement?
Yeah, Mayor Hardy, I would want us to approve this subject to review by the city attorney.
Yes, sir. I'm already tracking. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Councilman Suggs.
Thank you.
All right. On to item number 3, consider approval of the fiscal year 2025 operating budget amendment. Donna Goodson.
Thank you, Mayor. In your packet, you have an ordinance as well as a memo narrating the proposed budget amendments that we have in your packet. It's affecting this time the general fund and the wastewater fund. I would like to bring your attention, especially those at home that may be reviewing the budget amendment, on your pages 3 and pages 8, I believe, the totals for the current budget for the revenues and the expenditures for the general fund and the amended budget numbers are incorrect. They have been corrected, and a new copy of the ordinance has been provided to the city clerk. The revenues and expenses for the current budget should read $29,991,808, and the amended budget amounts for both the revenues and the expenditures should total $30,672,586. The details are correct. It was the bottom. It was the total lines that were incorrect, and I apologize for that. Are there any questions?
Thank you, Ms. Goodson. Anything from the council as it relates to the change on the bottom line? Hearing none, seeing none. Thank you, Ms. Goodson. Move on to item number 4. Consider approval of the special event permit for 2024 Kinston Parade. Chief Goyette.
Thank you very much. Good evening. This is for the Kinston Christmas Parade annual event. Not much has changed. The only really change in this is there will be no candy thrown at this parade. As years past, it has been allowed, but this year it is not allowed. It's going to take place on Saturday, December 7th, between 4:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. Every police officer not working shift that day will be there for security purposes. EMS will be called as needed. This is a fundraising project, and it's open to the public. Should be a pretty good event. The City of Kinston will be listed as the insurance holder. That's going to be due before the day of the event. As of right now, the quote is put in the packet, but DKR is aware they have to turn that in prior to the event. Should not be an issue. The parade route is going to be the same, leaving Grainger Stadium, going down Queen Street, and then turning on Caswell. Then it should be over then. The remaining floats will go back to Grainger Stadium, and we'll have an officer there. Something important to know is prior to the start of the parade, we will have a police officer there to make sure all the vehicles and floats have their proper equipment and the registration and inspections up to date.
Thank you, Chief. Mr. Attorney, would you like to entertain anything as it relates to the parade?
No, sir.
All right. Having said that, anything further, Chief?
No, sir.
All right, anything from the council as it relates to the Christmas parade? Hear none, seeing none. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Item number 5, consider approval of a resolution and lease agreement, New Beginnings Outreach Center. Mr. Attorney.
Yes, this is a proposed amendment to an existing lease agreement. By way of history, you may remember this came up, and the tenant wanted to go ahead and renew before there was really sufficient time to do the required advertising, and the manager had the authority to do a one-year lease. And so, with your blessing, we entered a one-year lease with the tenant, and assured them that we would come back and have you consider a longer term sometime before that 1 year ran. So here we are. We've done the proper advertisement for a lease extension, and if you're inclined to approve it, I think it's in proper form and ready for approval. Be glad to answer any questions.
Any questions from the council as it relates to the resolution, lease agreement from Historic Grainger Stadium and creation, the New Beginnings Outreach Center?
Right.
My only question, we have previously given 10-year leases. Is there no reason why we didn't want to do a 10-year lease for this one too?
I don't recall exactly where the 5 came from. What was that, the
That's
request?
what she had before. That's what she requested.
Okay.
It was to match what she had before.
Okay. Even though she hadn't had a lease in quite some time.
Right, the original, I think, was 5. I think, I'm sorry, my computer's restarting, but
Yeah.
she has repaired the roof, and it's been inspected by our staff, and we're satisfied with the work that she did as well.
Okay. Yeah. If there's no objection from the council, I'd like to ask that we offer them a 10-year lease, especially considering they are investing money into replacing the roof there, and they've not asked the city for any other maintenance upgrades or anything like that. They're covering that very expensive cost. I think it would be right to give them a 10-year lease.
That recommendation's on the floor as we'll discuss it further in the actual meeting. So that recommendation will be on the floor in consideration under discussion for that particular item on the consent agenda in the meeting. All right, so we'll discuss that 10-year option under that. All right, having said that, item number 6, consider approval of resolution and lease agreement for Historic Grainger Stadium and Downey's Bird Dogs, LLC. Mr. Attorney.
Yeah, this is just housekeeping. This is the exact same lease that council approved in September. We were working on the team's schedule to try to get agreed upon terms in place. So you went ahead and authorized that lease, and I think I forecast at that time that we were going to have to come back with a 30-day advertisement, and so that ad has now run, and we just ask that you reapprove and ratify this lease that was entered in September.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Nothing changed, just to approve and ratify the actual lease.
No changes at all. It's the exact same document.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Anything from the council as it relates to the lease agreement for the Downey's Bird Dogs at Historic Grainger Stadium? All right, now for the Bird Dogs. All right, having said that, what we can do now is we can actually go and do the closed session. Yeah, we actually had a schedule for sure. So we entertain a motion to go to closed session.
Motion.
So moves there second.
Second.
So moved probably second. Under discussion. Under discussion. Under discussion. Hear none, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. As it relates to economic development, we're now in closed session. Boom. All right. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all this evening. We're going to call this meeting to order. Call the City Council meeting to order today's date, which is November 19th, 2024. Time is 7:04 p.m. We'll now have the prayer by Pastor Harold Warren, Liberty Grove Baptist Church. If you would step to the podium on my left, your right, and Pastor begin whenever you are ready.
Good evening, everyone. Let us pray. Our Heavenly Father, we invoke your presence here at this meeting. Your presence will make the difference how people behave and respect one another. Thank you for being present. We give you thanks for this day and all your mighty works. We are grateful for your loving kindness and tender mercy. We acknowledge that we are made in your image. We thank you because we are fearfully and wonderfully made. Tonight we ask your blessings upon Kinston, North Carolina, and all the elected and appointed officials, the businesses, the churches, and all the institutions that comprise the city. Most of all, we ask that you bless the city's greatest resource, her people. Lord, even though we recognize we are not worthy of your favor, we confess that we are guilty of sin even in word, thought, or deed. Forgive us as we shall forgive others. We are grateful for your forgiveness and your mercy, which has kept you from rewarding us according to what we deserve, but rather giving us another opportunity to right our wrongs. We thank you for civil government, the men and women who serve this city, from the mayor to the manager, from the police officer to the politician, from the judges to the jury, from the street sweeper to the janitors, from the attorneys to the bankers, and from every occupation to every civil servant. May they understand the work they perform are ministries to all city's residents, no matter the walk of life, be it rich or poor, no matter the race, no matter the gender, no matter the creed. Lord, we are blessed to live in this country with all its rights and privileges. Therefore, please grant our leaders wisdom and guidance as they deliberate on the items before them tonight. As each voice is heard, may each decision be righteous in your sight for the benefit of all and for the glory on earth, for your glory on earth. I ask these supplications in the name of the Father, of the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Please all remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States of America. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, roll call.
Councilmember Solomon.
Present.
Councilmember Seaforth. Present. Councilmember Swenson.
Present.
Councilmember Suggs. Present. Mayor Pro Tem Hardy.
Present.
All present and all accounted for, Madam Clerk. Under citizen comments, do we have any?
Yes, sir.
All right. Citizens must sign in before the meeting if they wish to address the city council. Citizens should state their name and address before beginning their comments and may make up and speak up to a maximum of 3 minutes. Citizens seeking assistance or asking questions will be contacted by a member of the governing body or city staff. Madam Clerk.
Curtis Henderson.
Mr. Henderson.
All right, ready? Good evening, everyone. Good evening, City Council, city officials, audience. Good to see you guys. I come today in, 611 North Michael Wayne Street. Hope to Destiny for Youth is our nonprofit. And I come today just to enlighten you on a few things that we have going on over there. This coming up Friday, we're having a community fish fry. This coming Friday is for everyone, and you're all welcome to come by, grab some fish or whatever and going on. And also, I started our 4th annual toy drive. I am collecting toys from now until December the 22nd. And on December the 23rd, I will be distributing them to the community. Last year, we gave out over 500 toys to the community. And this year, I hope we can give out a little bit more than we did last year. And I hope some of you can stop by and donate a toy for a girl, a toy for a boy, or a bike if you can. either way, we're going to try to get it done. And I did have something else to talk about, but I was told that they would get up with me about it. So I thank you guys, and that's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Henderson. Madam Clerk.
There are no others, sir.
All right. Having said that, under adoption of the agenda, if a councilman wish to revise the agenda, the motion to enter the lead item will be entertained before adoption of the agenda. Will there be any from the council? Hearing none, seeing none, entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
Motion.
Second.
So moved and properly second. Under discussion as it relates to the items that were talked or discussed in the consent agenda during the work session, items number 4 and items number 1. That's the only thing I wanted to bring to your attention again as it relates to where we go for action. Item number 4 on the consent agenda will move to action. Item number 3, Madam Clerk.
Could you repeat that, sir?
Yes, so item number 4 under the consent agenda, we'll remove that to action. Item number 3 under action.
Thank you.
All right. Under minutes to be minutes to be considered for approval.
Mayor Hardy, we didn't vote. We didn't vote though.
Thank you, Minister. Having said that, entertain a motion to approve the agenda with those recommendations.
Motion.
So moves there a second.
Second.
So moved and probably second. Under discussion. Under discussion. Under discussion. Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Under minutes. The minutes to be considered for approval at our next meeting, October the 15th and November 4th. Madam Clerk, would you like to entertain?
The minutes for October 15th and November 4th will be presented at the December 3rd meeting.
All right. Are you seeking a motion for that?
No, sir.
All right. Under the consent agenda. Before we vote on the consent agenda, item number 1, consider approval of a contract with LIVunLtd agreement, Lions Water Park. I just want to include that this is approved subject to the approval of the agreement from the city attorney as it relates to LIVunLtd agreement. So we'll approve that subject to the review from the city attorney as it relates to the agreement. Item number 2, item number 3, item number 5 will move forward as stated. So I entertain a motion to approve those items with those recommendations.
Motion.
So moves there a second.
Second.
So moved and probably second. Under discussion. Under discussion. Under discussion. Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, under the action agenda. Consider approval of a resolution of Orice, Buddy Ritch Jr., Councilman Christopher Suggs.
Good evening, council. As you all are aware, former Mayor Buddy Ritch passed on last Monday, November 11th, which was Veterans Day. His memorial service was held this past Friday here at Westminster Church, and I've drafted a resolution that's included in your agenda packet tonight to honor Mayor Ritch's life and his service. Mayor Ritch served 4 terms as Kinston's mayor. From 1985 to 1997, 3 consecutive terms then, and then again from 2005 to 2009, involved in a variety of different programs and initiatives to help improve the lives of those who lived here in Kinston, Illinois County, and Eastern North Carolina as a region. So submitted in your packet is a resolution for us to approve tonight. A copy of this was provided to his family on this past Friday, and the resolution approved tonight will be included in the permanent archives of the city of Kinston.
Thank you, Councilman Suggs. I do appreciate your efforts and what you've done on the actually Veterans Day, or actually on the Friday at his service. Do appreciate you, and I know some of us from the council were able to attend because we're not here. Was at a conference in Florida, so I do appreciate you and thank you for that. Having said that, I entertain a motion to approve the resolution as read.
Motion.
So moves there a second.
Second.
So moved and properly second. Under discussion. Under discussion. Under discussion. Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Item number 2, consider special use request to operate a pool hall and conduct a public hearing. Director Blount.
Thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. This is a special use request from Mr. Clifton Grant. This is a quasi-judicial proceeding, and everyone desiring to speak must be sworn in. This also means that this is an evidentiary hearing, so the information presented is factual. This request is for a pool hall on 114 West Bright Street. The property is further identified as parcel number 8597. This is an area of the existing property. The subject property is 0.32 acres with the building that is going to be used being 2,773 square feet in size. Surrounding zoning districts are B2 to the north, the south, and the east, I-2 industrial zoning district to the west. Surrounding land uses are vacant lots and single-family dwellings to the east, vacant lots to the south, a parking lot and an automobile repair shop to the north, and a vacant lot to the west. The property is located within the downtown mixed-use land use sector of our comprehensive plan. The proposed use is in compliance with the city's comprehensive land use, which recommends commercial uses for redevelopment. This is a picture of the proposed location. This is a side view of the proposed location. This is a survey of the property. On this particular survey, it has lots 1 and 2, and they have now been joined together with designated parking between the two buildings. Ingress and egress to the parking lot is located on Bright Street and Heritage Street. This is the table of uses indicating that a pool hall requires a special use permit. Included in your package were the supplemental regulations for a pool hall, which include the separation of 100 feet from a place of worship and the annual verification concerning the ownership and management of the business. Your package also included the special use permit criteria, the application, the letters to the adjacent property owners, along with the list of them, and a draft ordinance. The Planning Board recommended approval during their regularly scheduled meeting this month. I'd be happy to answer any questions at this time.
Director Blount. So it's consistent with the comprehensive land use plan for the city of Kinston and is recommended by the Planning Board, correct?
Yes, sir.
Anything from the council as it relates to the request?
I had one, before we go into the public hearing, I just had one question. Is there any planned use for the other building that's on the property? Had he shared anything with that?
He did share that he is looking at possibly doing a restaurant in that building, but it is currently vacant.
Any further discussion from the council as it relates to this request?
I just had one question, Ms. Blount. Do you know if he applied for ABC liquor license?
No liquor license, as he said in his permit, it would only be beer and wine served.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Pro Tem. Any further discussion from the council as it relates to this request? Hearing none, seeing none. Director Blount, a request in the public hearing for quasi-judicial proceeding. All right. Having said that, we are in a public hearing. Mr. Attorney, would you like to entertain?
No, sir, nothing to add.
All right. Having said that, are there any to speak in favor of or in opposition of?
Ms.
All right. So, thank you so much. Please, we can stand and come up to the front. Would there be any others to speak in favor of or in opposition of? Would there be any others to speak in favor of or in opposition of? Madam Clerk, if you would, just want testament for.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
All right. Please state your name before you begin. Thank you much.
Hi, my name is Doris James. I live in that residence. I actually live right behind that building. And I work 6 days a week and 9 hours a day, and I think that it would be more of a bother for me to get sleep or to maintain my area for my safety because of the things that go on with crowds, and people are a lot rowdier today than before. And I would think it would be something against me and not for me to help by my home.
All right. Thank you, ma'am. Would there be any others to speak in favor or in opposition of? Director Blount is the owner here, the manager, or whoever is in charge of this business request. Are they here? No, sir. All right. Would there be any others to speak in favor or in opposition of? This public hearing is now closed. Yield it back to the council. Director Blount, would you like to entertain?
No, sir.
All right. Anything from the council as pertains to this quasi-judicial proceeding relating to the request of a special use permit?
What were the hours shared of the operation of the pool room?
Per the application, it's 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. Monday through Sunday.
Any further discussion from the council as it relates to the request? Having said that, I'd like to entertain a motion.
Considering that this, there was no presented evidence that it will materially endanger the public health, safety, or welfare, injure the value of an adjoining or abutting property, will not be or would not be in harmony with the existing development and uses in the area, I would like to move that we approve this special use permit because of its compliance with the City of Kinston's comprehensive land use plan.
Madam Clerk, let the record reflect verbatim in accordance to North Carolina General Statute as it relates to the quasi-judicial proceeding that we have just entered, as it relates to the statute and the recommendation by the our city government, our planning board, and the director of planning. Having said that, that motion has been so moved. Is there a second?
Second.
So moved and properly second. Under discussion. Under discussion. Under discussion. Hearing none, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, item number 3, which will be considered approval of a resolution and lease agreement, New Beginnings Outreach Center, and the agreement to extend to 10 years. It's going to be the request made by Councilmember Suggs to extend the lease out to 10 years. Is there a motion to approve the extension of 10 years out? Mr. Attorney, would you like to entertain?
Yes, if I could, since we haven't discussed that with the tenant.
Right.
I would suggest you might want to approve it for up to 10 years. And then let's talk to the tenant and see if the tenant prefers 5, 10, or something in between.
Thank you, Mr. Attorney. Having said that, consider approval of the resolution and lease agreement for up to 10 years for New Beginnings Outreach Center. New Beginnings Outreach Center, up to 10 years for the lease agreement. Entertain a motion to approve.
Motion.
So moves. There a second?
Second.
So moved properly. Second. Under discussion. Hearing none, seeing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right. Center Manager's report. Item number 1, Kinston Public Services Road Show. Crazy.
Thank you, Mayor. I've got a couple of things for you tonight. Our Public Service Department is going to take their show on the road, and Mr. Miller's going to tell you a little bit about that.
Thank you, City Manager and Mayor. We just want to announce tonight the first of the Kinston Public Service Road Shows. What we've decided to do is try to make our public more aware of the different services and programs that we have that they can benefit from, as well as get information from them on different items that we have going on. Right now it's pretty busy in the public service world, so it's a good opportunity for us to do this. We have set our first road show to be at City Hall on Tuesday, December 3rd. It'll be from 8:30 to 12:30 a.m. Folks who wish to come to the road show can come in the normal customer entrance. We'll be set up in the area in front of the City Council chambers. We'll be presenting information on a number of different things. One will be our load management program that we've been talking about, giving people an opportunity. You can save up to $150 a year if you want to participate in that. So we will show you how to participate and what we need to get from you in order to get you started. We'll be talking about load service lines as well. We'll have a area set up where we can talk to customers about their water services. We sent notices out in the last week to a number of our folks that have Kinston Water as their water supply, and we'll explain a little bit more about that and get information from them to help us work on the inventory and the process to move forward and hopefully get all of the lead out of the Kinston's system over the next 10 years or so. In addition, we'll talk about ways customers can stay informed, either about their utility accounts, through Telehome, through Code Red, where they can get notifications if we're changing services, like when we change garbage routes for holidays. We send out automated phone messages through that system. We have a report of concern process on our website that people can report things to us. So we want to make people aware of all these different programs that are available. And then we'll also have a booth set up to talk about rebates and energy audits for electric customers. We do have a program for folks that are replacing energy efficient appliances to be able to get a little bit of money back. So we'll make sure people are aware of that. We've had that forever, but very few people take advantage of it. And then even our fire department, they are interested in setting up a table and be able to talk to folks a little bit more about smoke detectors, car seats, and things that they offer as well. So it won't just be Kinston Public Services, but we will have a lot of things going on that day. We invite people to come out. We'll have some food and refreshments as well. So we'd love to see everybody come out to that event. We will be having more events over the next couple of months, so keep your eyes out for those schedules coming out too.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Madam Manager.
Thank you, Mayor. And every chance we get, we want to remind everybody of all the Christmas activities we've got going on. So I've asked Leon Steele to give us another update as we get closer.
Thank you. Well, this Saturday we have a great time planned at Pearson Park, and we're inviting everybody out. The public's invited. It's a free event, and everyone's welcome to attend. And that's the lighting of the tree in the park. Jerry Coyle will sing 5 songs. We have 2 dance studios, Moves and Stage Life, performing. Santa will be escorted by the Little Union Academy of Martial Arts. Hot beverages will be served by the Collective Church and Faith Lutheran Church. And if you haven't driven downtown right now, between now and Saturday, you need to drive down Queen Street and up Heritage Street, or down Heritage and up Queen, one or the other, and look at what's on right now, because it will truly bring back some memories of when the holly trees were on the street and lit lights in them, and also just kind of I don't know. It was exciting when I drove down last night. It really kind of started putting me in the Christmas spirit. So come check that out. Then we have the parade on Saturday, December 7th, which is the Saturday, a couple of Saturdays after what's the Saturday after Thanksgiving, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. That starts at 4:30, departing Grainger Stadium at that time, and it'll roll over to Queen Street and down Queen Street to Caswell to McIlwain. The deadline to register is Monday, this coming Monday, in the afternoon. So go ahead and go to downtownkinston.com and register your organization, your group, your business, or whatever. Throw some lights on whatever you have, and get in the parade and have some fun. It's always a good time. News is setting up its stand again this year. They're returning to 327 North Queen Street, where they'll be live streaming the parade across the country on their newsnews.com website and also the social media page. That's very, very good for Kinston, for all these people around the country to see what we're doing. The new video dropped today about all of this too on DK's page and my page as well. So if you need some more information, go there and check it out, or call our office at 525-6144. And we'll be happy to help you. You need a parade registration form. If you're a school, for example, if you're a K through 12 academic school or first responder, you don't have to register to be in the parade. I mean, you don't have to pay the fee. But we do need that registration form, which means you can either print it out or you can pass by and fill out one at our office, and that way we can take care of it. It helps bypass the pay button and lets you actually get registered. So we'll see you there.
Madam Manager, would you have anything further? Yes. Thank you, Leah. I do appreciate it. The lights already look good in the downtown area. I'm excited to see those Christmas trees up, and even our Christmas tree here at City Hall. Having said that, Madam Manager, would you like to entertain anything further?
No, just to thank all the departments, especially Public Services and DK, for getting all those lights up so quick for us.
All right. Thank you, Madam Manager. Mr. Attorney, would you like to entertain?
Good to be back with you.
All right. Good to see you. All right. Anything from the council? Anything from the council?
Mayor Hart, I just want to encourage our community to continue getting involved with us here at the City of Kinston. My encouragement would be tonight, if you're here at our city council meeting for the first time or first time in a while, bring somebody else with you the next time. We need to get more citizens involved. There's been so much discourse over the last few months and so much attention on the federal election we had going on. But, election day is past and come, and it's time that we also pay attention to what's happening locally here in our community. These are the decisions that affect your streets, your parks, your police, your safety, your utilities. Those decisions get made right here at 207 East King Street. So it's really important that we encourage our community members to get involved in what's happening. Reach out to us as elected officials. Don't just make the comments online. Don't just watch the meeting, but don't actually reach out to us. Make sure that you actually engage with those who are elected to represent you, because we have a responsibility to you as the citizens of Kinston. So.
Anything. Thank you, Councilmember Suggs. Any further discussion from the council? Any others? Might entertain. All right. Having said that, I want to say this. First, let me say thank you for all those that came out. Again, I reiterate that to make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend or a neighbor, like we say in church. Talk to your neighbor. You bring them to the council chambers. However, but I don't think too many people are excited about that. But I would love to see them in the council chambers. And however, but moving along, myself and several council members attended the National League of Cities Conference in Tampa, Florida, where we celebrate the 100th year as it relates to cities, towns, and villages all across America, as it relates to what we advocate for. As your voting delegate and as the Vice Chair of the Public Safety and Crimes Prevention, I'm going to just go through a few things that were discussed and that was voted upon for cities and towns, villages like Kinston. Resolution that were submitted to the 119th Congress. NLC Resolution 2025-32 is in support of federal efforts to recruit and retain a diverse public safety workforce. Resolution 2533 is urging the federal government to provide direct funding and assistance to cities and towns and villages to support violence prevention programs. Also, 2534 on transforming the nation's 911 system for enhanced crisis response and support services. Also, enhancing public safety unmanned aircraft systems, UAS operations beyond visual line of sight type resolution, urging federal investment in safe and effective counter UAS technologies. We also talked about and discussed urging the federal government to support local governments' efforts to prevent and respond to mass shootings. Also, support for comprehensive substance abuse, use of disorder solutions, additional resources for law enforcement in combating fentanyl and xylazine trafficking. Urging Congress to pass legislation providing increased support to local governments for wildfire prevention, response, and recovery efforts. And also urging Congress to pass legislation to reform the Community Development Block Grant, CDBGDR, disaster recovery, as it relates to the CDBGDR program, which is the legislation to reform the Community Development Block Grant, which is to better response on natural disasters as it relates to what we have experienced in the state of North Carolina and the western part of the state. I'm going to read you this resolution that we signed on to that we submitted also. It's whereas the Community Development Block Grant Disaster Recovery Program is crucial in providing flexible grants to help cities, counties, and states recover from presidentially declared disasters, rebuild affordable housing, and restore infrastructure, especially in low-income areas. And whereas the program currently lacks permanent authorization, which leads to delays in the disbursement of funds, thereby extending recovery timelines, stagnating local economies, and exacerbating homelessness and mitigation from disaster-impacted areas. And whereas the Reform and Disaster Recovery Act, a bipartisan legislation, seeks to permanently authorize the CDBGDR program, thus ensuring faster, more equitable, and more accountable distribution of disaster recovery funds. Whereas the proposed legislation includes critical reforms such as ensuring balanced use of funds between infrastructure, housing, improving the data transparency, oversight, establishing a CDBGDR reserve fund for rapid initial recovery funding, and promoting disaster mitigation and resilience. And whereas millions of disaster survivors across the country have faced catastrophic and life-threatening conditions due to extreme weather events, and the event's current ad hoc system of funding significantly delays essential recovery efforts. And now, therefore, this was submitted that the National League of Cities urges Congress to pass the Reform and Disaster Recovery Act to provide meaningful relief to disaster survivors and ensure that CDBGDR, the program, operates more efficiently and effectively. Those were the solutions and resolutions that were put forth at the National League of Cities. And as the Vice Chair of the Public Safety and Crime Prevention, I raise my hand in accordance to these resolutions, and hopefully we have the conversation here in March as it relates to home rule, city maintain control, as it relates to cities and towns across America. Having said that, I just wanted to read that to you and let you know that what we were doing and what we were advocating for in Tampa. And every single time that we actually attend any of these conferences, I'm actually very, very engaged and leading the charge as it relates to our city and how do we tap resources that will help us and put us in the best position to keep us moving forward. Now, having said that, I entertain a motion to adjourn. Correction, I got a recess. Let me look at this. All right, having said that, we'll recess this meeting. We'll recess this meeting until Thursday, November 21st, 2024, 8:30 a.m., City Hall Human Resource Training Room. This is going to be an affordable housing conversation. So this meeting will be recessed to November 21st, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. It'll be Thursday, November 21st, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. here, City Hall Human Resource Training Room, 207 East King Street, Kinston, North Carolina. This meeting is recessed until Thursday, November 21st, 2024 at 8:30 a.m. City Hall Human Resources Training Room. See y'all later.